Hi, my learned friends. Welcome back to our tutorial session. Today we are going to learn about Introduction to Web Designing. Web designing is defined as designing and planning a web page for a certain purpose. The purposes can be changed according to the client's requirements. So this includes a number of separate skills that all fall under the umbrella of web design. So we will discuss furthermore details in the upcoming slides. So let's start the presentation. Here is the content for today's session. We are going to talk about what is web designing, who is a web designer, eligibility to become web designer, how to learn web designing and web designing basics. What is web designing? Web designing are part of the IT field that requires the students to learn server programming languages to create dynamic web pages. Since there are many definitions, mainly I selected this definition to explain what it is. Simply, this is creating a dynamic web page using the web designing languages and concepts. Actually, to become a professional web designer, there are two major factors which is highly effective. The first fact is that a web designer creates and arranges the pages that make up a website, balancing on how a page looks against its functions. The other fact is that the professional creates web pages that are accessible to anyone irrespective of the device they use. Additionally, web designers must have required skills, qualifications to become a professional web designer. We will going to talk about this in the next slide. In the previous slide, I mentioned that a web designer should have certain skills and abilities to fulfill by him or herself. Mainly it is required educational and professional qualifications, as an example, diploma, degree related to web designing. Then the basic knowledge in front-end development languages like HTML, CSS, JS. When it comes to skills, good communication skills, verbal and nonverbal skills, problem solving and analytical skills, creative thinking, basic knowledge of graphic designing softwares will be an advantage. So there are many more skills growing in the industry according to the emerging trends in IT and web designing. Even when you are going for a new job in this field, these skills are searching by the interviewees if they are eligible to the job position. When we talk about web designing, the first thing which comes to our mind is HTML. That is one of the major languages which is used to code a web page. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You all can create your own web page using HTML. This slide shows a sample HTML code template. This is actually the basic structure of HTML. There are specific tags which we need to learn when coding a website. In here you can see several tags. We will teach you what are those tags in the next slide. Let's move on to the final stage of the video presentation. These are the main tags we use when coding a web page. HTML element is the root element of an HTML page. The second one is head element, contains meta information about the HTML page. Title element specifies a title for the HTML page. Body element defines the document's body. The next tag is H1. This element defines a large heading. Finally, the P element defines a paragraph. So in the upcoming presentations, we will talk about on how to implement a web page and how this process happens in detail. Now we have come to the end of this presentation. Our main goal is to give you the basic knowledge on web designing and to guide you through the step-by-step process to develop your own website. This concludes the demonstration. Thank you for watching.